Welcome back, everybody. We are live in Des Moines, Iowa, and let's get right back to the questions. Brett?
Thank you, Megan. Gentlemen, I'll ask you some questions about federal spending and the role of the federal government. Everybody always says they want to cut federal spending, and usually they start by saying they'll cut waste, fraud, and abuse, but that really doesn't ever materialize. We all know that. Governor Christie, you talk a lot about entitlement reform, and you say that that's where the federal government can get savings needed to balance the budget. But can you name even one thing that the federal government does now that it should not do at all?
Yeah. You want one?
I want one.
Yeah. How about one that I've done in New Jersey for the last 6 years, and that's get rid of Planned Parenthood funding for the United States of America.
Anything bigger than that?
Bigger than that? Let me tell you something. When you see thousands upon thousands upon thousands of children being murdered in the womb, I can't think of anything bigger than that.
Thank you, Governor. I realize everyone on this stage opposes Obamacare, and you're not alone. Google data shows that in the last month, when people searched policy repeals, that there were a lot of them. Obamacare took the top 2 spots. But today there are millions of people who gained health insurance from Obamacare, and they now rely on it. So the question, Senator Cruz, if you repeal Obamacare, as you say you will, will you be fine if millions of those people don't have health insurance? And what is your specific plan for covering the uninsured?
Sure. Well, let's take it one at a time. First of all, we have seen now in 6 years of Obamacare that it's been a disaster. It is the biggest job killer in this country. Millions of Americans have lost their jobs, have been forced into part-time work, have lost their health insurance, have lost their doctors, have seen their premiums skyrocket. If I am elected president, we will repeal every word of Obamacare. Now, once that is done, everyone agrees we need health care reform. It should follow the principles of expanding competition, empowering patients, and keeping government from getting in between us and our doctors. 3 specific reforms that reflect those principles. Number 1, we should allow people to purchase health insurance across state lines. That'll create a true 50-state national marketplace, which will drive down the cost of low-cost, catastrophic health insurance. Number 2, we should expand health savings accounts so people can save in a tax-advantaged way for more routine health care needs. And number 3, we should work to de-link health insurance from employment, so if you lose your job, your health insurance goes with you, and it is personal, portable, and affordable. And I'll tell you, Brett, I think that's a much more attractive vision for health care than the Washington-driven, top-down Obamacare that is causing so many millions of people to hurt.
Senator Cruz, thank you. Governor Bush, you've advocated for statehood for Puerto Rico. The Puerto Rican economy is collapsing under unsustainable debt burden. Only about 1 million of its 4 million residents are currently employed. So should American citizens who you say are already overtaxed bail out Puerto Rico as well?
No, they shouldn't, and I believe that Puerto Rico ought to have the right of self-determination. If I was a Puerto Rican, I'd vote for statehood so that they have full citizenship. They serve in the military. They would have to pay federal taxes. They would accept the responsibilities of full U.S. citizenship, but they should have the right of self-determination. Before you get to that, though, Puerto Rico is going to have to deal with the structural problems they face. You know, it's a fact that if you can pay for a $79 one-way ticket to Orlando and you can escape the challenges of a declining economy and high crime rates, you move to Orlando. And a lot of people are doing that, and this spiraling out of control requires Puerto Rico to make structural reforms. Federal government can play a role in allowing them to do that, but they should not. The process of statehood or the status of Puerto Rico won't be solved until we get to the bigger issue of how you deal with the structural economic problems they're facing right now.
Governor Kasich, you're one of 2 remaining sitting governors still in the race. Your colleague, Governor Rick Snyder in Michigan, is under fire, he and his administration, for the Flint, Michigan water crisis and the botched response to it. How would you have handled that?
Well, you got to be on top of it right away. And, you know, I don't know all the details of what Rick Snyder has done. I know there have been people who have been fired, people who are being held accountable. But the fact is, every single engine of government has to move when you see a crisis like that. And I've had many situations in the state of Ohio where we've had to move, whether it's storms, whether it was a horrible school shooting. There are many crises that come, a water crisis in Toledo. You've got to be on top of it. You've got to go the extra mile. You've got to work with local communities, and you've got to work with the federal government, because you realize that people are depending on you. And so you go the extra mile, but people have to be alert. They have to be alert to problems, and when you see a problem, you must act quickly to get on top of it. And people at home are saying they've got a problem, listen to them, because most of the time they're absolutely correct. So the fact is that we work for the people don't work for us, and we have to have an attitude when we're in government of servanthood. That's what really matters. We serve you, you don't serve us. We listen to you, and then we act.
Senator Rubio, on the issue of climate change, in 2008, you wanted Florida to get ahead of other states and establish a cap-and-trade system, a program for carbon emissions, which many Republicans thought at the time would hurt the Florida economy. Now you're a skeptic of climate change science, and in fact you warn that federal efforts to fight climate change will cost U.S. jobs and hurt the U.S. economy. So why the change?
Well, Brett, first, that's not entirely the story. At the time, the liberal governor of Florida, who claimed he was a Republican, his name was Charlie Crist, he wanted to impose cap and trade on Florida, and I opposed him. I was the first person out of the box that opposed him on it. And then we saw that the leading candidates for president at the time, both the Republican and the Democrats, all supported it. And what we said is, if they're going to impose this on us, we better prepare to protect the state from it. But I have never supported cap and trade, and I never thought it was a good idea. And I was clear about that at the time. And I do not believe it's a good idea now. I do not believe that we have to destroy our economy in order to protect our environment, and especially with these programs are asking us to pass that will do nothing to help the environment, but will be devastating for our economy. When I am president of the United States of America, there will never be any cap and trade in the United States.
Thanks, Senator.
All right, we're going to move on, because coming up, immigration, and something you've never seen before. Stay tuned right after this break.